how is it that you both keep yourself sort of motivated and going despite doing so many different things?
Great question. One thing that helps me a lot is getting a lot of sleep. I've noticed that days where I go ahead and get like anywhere from like 9 to like 9.5 hours of sleep, the next day I have so much fuel to get a lot of things done. Secondly, taking at least one day off a week. So Sundays, I literally do nothing at all. I try to go ahead and get out the house. And I found that for me personally, getting out of the house, traveling, going into like the nearby sort of national park, that really, really helps me reset, and it helps me get to a point where I'm craving to get back to work the next day on the Monday. And then thirdly is rewarding yourself. This is something that I also struggle with, where, my whole life I went from, nothing to having money. I've always tried to hoard money, save money, not spend, and try to not reward myself. So what I found is when you can go ahead and get yourself that watch you're sort of saving up for, get yourself that car you're saving up for, when you go ahead and make that purchase, now you're going to be hungry to go ahead and earn that money. You sort of have this fire lit under you. You're sort of back to that initial hunger, where you're grinding to save back and earn that new money and sort of survive at this new bar. Definitely reward yourself. And it doesn't have to be things. It could be holidays. It could be trips. It could be nice plane flights. So that's all the three things that really help me a lot.
To add what Andy said, the rewarding yourself is very, very important. Like if you are working a lot one day on many different projects, very important that you have something that you give yourself at the end of the day. You don't necessarily have to buy something. I highly agree with buying something after you've achieved some of your goals to reward yourself, like buy that watch you want, or upgrade your car. I stand by rewarding yourself. Tai Lopez talks about this. Like for me, something that I really enjoy is video games, and I don't get too invested in it. But if I, for example, I've had a very long day, I'll play one game of like League of Legends, for example, or play Smash Bros. But that's like 30 minutes for me to get my mind off of work, because it's very hard. If you're a high performer and high achiever, I'm pretty sure you're on this call, pretty certain that when your mind is racing, it's very difficult to go to sleep, which ties into what Andy said. Sleep, recharging, so important. Along with that, I always try to ask myself why I started in the first place. Constantly reminding yourself in the morning where you want to be. Look at yourself in the mirror and literally tell yourself, I am blank. Like really put yourself in a position every single day where you're constantly focused. You have a vision. You're focused on where you want to be, and constantly remind yourself why you started in the first place. And I mean, for me, I have many different reasons on why I start each project, and me asking myself, what's in it for me? Those exact words, like, hey, what's in it for me? When I look at something, when I don't want to do it, like answering an email, I'm like, what's in it for me, And then I'll remember why I started, and then I'll actually go and do it. I'll knock it out in like 2 minutes. But aside from that, I agree with Andy on having that day off. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I haven't had a day off in a minute. I normally will take a big day, like a week off, actually. I'll like go out and travel with my wife, or I'll go out for like a whole day sometimes, or maybe 2 days in a row, go on a little day trip or a weekend trip. I've realized that they do help me come back stronger. Like after experiencing something, traveling, going out for like 2 weeks or maybe 2 days even, I'll come back a little bit anxious on like what's going to be on my to-do list, but I'll be prepared. I'll feel more relieved. I'll feel more complete. I think that that's also very important to take time off as well.